Good morning. It is 7:51 a.m. on Wednesday, May 11th, 2022. I'm Christiana Ellis, and I more or less just got up. This is 5 more minutes. Working on schedule, biological schedules for Rocket. He has started a tendency of getting up, kind of waking up extra early and whining at me and then wanting to go outside, which means that I have to get up extra early to take him outside. And then he did that today, but then just like usually when we go out first thing in the morning, he needs to pee and poop, but he didn't need to poop today, or at least he didn't. And so we had to walk around like for a while waiting for him to just not go. And the thing is, I can't blame him like he's doing it on purpose, right? Like, he's not, this is not some cunning scheme of his to get extra walk time or something like that. It's like, so can't hold it against him like it's deliberate, but at the same time, it's frustrating. Anyway, so after doing that at 5 a.m., I came back in and slept a little bit more. I did a voice in my D&D session last night that really messed up my throat, so I had kind of a sore throat going to bed last night. But, that's how it goes sometimes. I hope everyone's doing well. Oh, gosh, I feel like I did other things yesterday that I can't remember now. My brain is still not properly awake, for sure. I definitely, yeah, yesterday was a little bit of a weird day. Like, I went into the office and that was all fine. But then, like, what did I do when I came home? Yeah, I mean, other than the D&D session, which started at like 7:30. I'm blanking right now. I think that's just me being sleepy still this morning. Like, I'll remember, I'm sure. But it's just I so today's video obviously is not going to be one of the ones that contains anything pseudo profound or whatever. It's just here I am. Yeah, a little scattered this morning. Need to get some caffeine in me, I guess. But we've had some interesting weather the last few days here in Massachusetts. It's been sunny, but cool and windy. So like mid 50s, but windy with the wind being cold. Like, if you're standing in the sun out of the wind, it feels warmer, but then as soon as you step out into the wind, it's like, ooh, chilly. But we're otherwise getting a lot of, the spring foliage, leaves and blossoms everywhere, and it's starting to look nice and pretty, spring-like, which is, I mean, it's time for that. It's May. So, there we go. I think... Oh, you know what I can maybe just touch on a little bit is I found myself getting more emotional than I expected from just a dumb online movie discussion yesterday about the movie Avatar. And this was inspired, of course, because the teaser for the sequel, which is finally coming, is out now. And I guess what got me frustrated in a way that I wouldn't have expected to feel any real emotion about is just that so the thing is, the real history of that movie is that it did incredibly well, and globally it is still the #1 box office movie of all time. Still. And yet, because it was so successful, and for a couple of other reasons that I'll get into in a moment, there was kind of a backlash about it. See, because I think what happened with that movie is that its primary thing that it had going for it was it was a big spectacle. It was, awe-inspiring. It was an amazing experience in the theater. And the story was, not as special. It was pretty tropey and everything, but it was designed to support the spectacle. And so naturally, that is not necessarily going to hold up as well on a rewatch on a much smaller screen, right? Like you miss that big experience. But I think that has translated to an awful lot of people sort of rewriting history in their heads to imply that it was always no good, or they, oh, you know what, I never liked it. And I'm like, okay, fine. I'm sure there are a lot of people that went to see Avatar in the theater and came away going, but you know what? There's a lot more people that were wowed by it and went to see it over and over, and that's why it's the #1 box office movie of all time. So I guess it just bothers me when people try to pretend that like it was somehow just a flop or something like that, or that somehow people were tricked into liking it. In particular, the thing that set me off was someone who was saying, I don't know, I think all the hype for it just felt manufactured to me. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Yeah, it became the #1 box office movie of all time, but people didn't really like it. They were just told to like it. Anyway, I like Avatar. I think, the story is not as groundbreaking or whatever, but it was a big deal, and I'm looking forward to the new one, so there. Alright, I'm going to leave it there, and I'll talk to you all tomorrow for 5 more minutes.